Well, let's shift focus to one space which is actually done pretty poorly. I'm talking about chemicals and agrochemicals as a space. Now, an antique broking note in August suggested that the worst is largely over for domestic agrochemical players, and a bounce back in performance is expected for the second quarter onwards. Has the bounce back really started for that space? Now, we have Mr. RV Bubna, CMD at Sharda Cropchem, joining us now. Mr. Bubna, welcome back on the program. It's been a while since we've spoken with you, so it's great to have you. And Rajesh Pherwani is founder of Valcreate Investment Managers. Rajesh, of course, is a long time, 25-year veteran in the space as an investor, as an analyst, and of course now runs his own PMS called Valcreate. Rajesh, welcome to the show as well. Thanks for your time. Mr. Bubna, let me start by asking you, what is the situation, sir, on the agrochem side for your products? Are we at a point where the glut in the system is largely getting over, or is it still pretty bad out there?
I won't say it's pretty bad, but it is bad. It is likely and expected to go out slowly, but the process is a little slow than what we were planning, we were expecting.
What are the, just if you can elaborate that a little bit, what has happened, say, over the last 2-3 months? What is China doing? What is that doing to your volumes? What is that doing to prices? Just a little bit of explanation would help, sir.
So China has got trapped into overproduction. Yeah. Some of their manufacturers, which helped them to produce too much, and now many factories are closed because they are loaded with very heavy stocks. And the same problem is in the distribution channel, in the transportation and destination countries. So this has to get, and also the weather has been not so friendly. So the consumption is less and the production is more.
Mr. Bubna, good morning. I want to understand also what's happening in Europe, because as per the Q1 numbers, you have a large presence in Europe as well. Is the slowdown as bad as what it was, say, about 6-8 months ago?
Madam, Europe's situation is getting affected by this Ukraine-Russia war. The economies are in a little bit of a problem. Fuel prices are going up, and the euro currency is also depreciating versus dollar in the last 1.5 months. All these factors make the Europe situation also a little difficult.
So if the European situation is difficult, can you just help us, Mr. Bubna, with some numbers? How much does Europe contribute to your overall business? And a lot of agrochemical companies had actually cut down their full year guidance in Europe because of how tough the situation is. What would your own expectation be by the end of the year?
Madam, I expect the Europe to contribute to about 45% of our total revenues.
Okay, and 45% of total revenues, but what about the
45% of the Agrochem revenues? Yes.
Yes. No, but I'm trying to understand in terms of growth numbers, revenue numbers. Are you expecting to see a fall in Europe over the next 1 year? And if yes, how much could it be for your own business?
Madam, 1 year is too long a period to predict. Yeah. But presently, I'm expecting the situation to improve, take a better turn by end of third quarter. And I would say that we may not have much of a growth in Europe and all over the world.
Okay, all right. Yeah, hi, Mr. Bubna. The first quarter was weak, but I think you were optimistic that you can grow in mid-teens. You're telling us now that for the year, you'll be more or less flattish for FY24 in comparison to FY23?
Sir, I'll be a little careful in making a prediction because situations are very much dynamic. But I was expecting second quarter to be better. It is better than the first quarter, but it has not improved as much as it was expected at the end of the first quarter.
Okay. So for the year then, sir, will you grow, will you not grow? As of now, things are dynamic as you said, so things can change. But as of current reckoning, do you expect to grow or not?
Sir, we will grow, but the growth will not be 15 to 20%. I would say now, but the growth could be about 8 to 10%.
Okay. 8 to 10% growth in 24 over 23. Mr. Bubna, just coming back to you, let me get Rajesh into the conversation as well. Rajesh, you heard Mr. Bubna at Sharda Cropchem. I mean, your own assessment of things. Mr. Bubna, you said you expect things to pick up fourth quarter onwards, right? Was it? I just want to make sure. Mr. Bubna, you said fourth quarter. End of?
Yeah. See, fourth quarter is the best quarter for most of the
Okay.
agrochemical companies because they're all season-based, and the spring season is the biggest consumer of the agrochemical products.
Okay. Got that. Rajesh, come in. I mean, what is your own assessment?
I think I agree with Mr. Bubna on the situation on the ground. I think China has suddenly come back into manufacturing after COVID. And, during COVID, I think they had an extended COVID when they had shut down their plants for a longer period of time because of the government diktat. And when they came into the market, they have dumped the material in the various, markets world over. Europe has been particularly badly impacted, and that's why they're putting those sort of restrictions, import restrictions there. And at the same time, you look at some of these products like glyphosate, mancozeb, and 2,4-D, they have crashed. The prices have crashed in a very short period of time. So I think the situation on the ground today is pretty bad, and there's a lot of glut in the system.
Okay, that's well put. Rajesh, when we talk chemicals, it encompasses such a wide kind of businesses, right? There's, of course, chemicals, specialty chemicals, and then there is agrochemicals. What you're telling us is about with regards to agrochemicals, but is it, is the cycle very different for chemicals and agrochemicals? Or some of the factors are the same?
Yeah. So it depends on the products you're looking at. So, there are some products where, Indians are leaders. Some of the specialty chemical companies, you see, Indians are leaders. I've seen fluorochemical businesses have not got so impacted. And maybe some specific products where, some of the companies are operating, for example, ATBS or IBB, that the impact has not been so much as it has been probably for some of the other products like, commodity chemicals. And, if you look at agrochemicals, these intermediates are dime a dozen from China. China is a big player in agrochemical intermediates. So when I look at a company which is formulating and selling in Europe, there are two impacts that agrochemicals see. One is the prices of the raw materials go down, so your inventory gets hit. So there's an inventory write down. And the second thing is the formulation prices also directly, crashing because they are generics and there is absolutely no takers at the higher prices.
Sure. I wanted to understand what would all of this mean for players like Sharda Cropchem in the sense, Mr. Bubna, you were talking about how Europe is a very challenging situation because of the Russia-Ukraine war. Things in China have been deteriorating. Would you want to change your geographic mix to focus more on the Indian markets? Maybe not now, but over the next 1 to 2 years in order to sort of, just sort of deviate from the kind of fall that we're seeing in global markets?
Madam, I want to remind you that our products are not freely tradable products. Every product needs to be approved and registered in any country or any territory that we want to market. In India, we don't have very good advantage because if we register, and we are doing the process of registration in India also, but in India, we'll have to source the product from India or China and compete with the producers in India. So that doesn't give us a very good advantage. Our revenues are more than 98% or 99% from outside India.
Yeah. I mean, you largely procure out of China and then sell to Europe. That's largely what the model has been. And of course, I mean, these are contracts. So as you said, not freely tradable in that sense. Rajesh, as an investor, right? I mean, you run a fund, a strategy within the PMS which focuses on specialty chemicals, agrochemicals, and you've been running that particular strategy since 2018. What are you doing now? I mean, are you in a phase where you are adding in the hope of a revival at some point in the future? And where are you focused?
So, end of the day, for us, it's all about how the managements are able to maneuver out of the situation. And we've seen balance sheets of specialty chemical companies for the last 15, 20 years. I've seen them from 2004 onwards. And, at one point, there were no buyers in these stocks. There were hardly any participants as investors. And over a period of time, we've seen them do extremely well because of the China Plus One impact. The China Plus One story is going to continue for the next many years to come. So what I would do today is to buy companies which are managed by able management such as Mr. Bubna, and build a portfolio of companies which have the ability to tide over these cycles and rebound in the stability phase. I think that's the way I'll go about it.
So it is not about commodity chemicals or specialty chemicals or sub-segments within the space. I mean, that is not the criterion, Rajesh. Is that what you're saying?
It is a criteria. Definitely, I wouldn't go down the commodity cycle. A lot of companies that we buy are pretty complex manufacturing facilities, have pretty complex manufacturing facilities, and there are multiple stages in manufacturing of those products.
Would you, with full disclosure that this is not an advice for viewers to buy any of these companies, I mean, could you share with us what are your top ideas right now in the space?
We own PI Industries. We think that's a great business which has not been impacted by the cycles. We own Vinati Organics, again, a great company with a lot of, innovation in place. The promoters are pretty well known in innovation. We have RT Industries, a very full-time favorite of mine. We have Sharda Cropchem, which we think that will revive in a year or so. So some of these names, form a chunk of our portfolio. And I think I would also say that I don't want to say today that you go and buy them, but in the revival, some of these names will really, really bounce back.
Okay. In the non-agro business, Mr. Bubna, I just wanted your thoughts. What exactly is the game plan? At any point in time, would you look to demerge this business?
No, madam, we will continue to have the two businesses together. And non-agro is doing fairly well. I would say better than the previous year.
So, yes, that's showing up in the numbers as well. I mean, you are sitting at almost about, I think, 170 crores of revenues in the non-agro business as of Q2. Can you tell us what is the growth looking like over there? What is the sustainable growth there? And would you be looking to make more investments in the non-agro division?
Madam, first of all, non-agro division doesn't require any investment. Like we have in the agrochemical business, because our biggest investment in the agrochemical is in the intangible assets, what we call registrations in. Non-agro are freely tradable products, and our only advantage is good quality control, timely shipments, and competitive prices. So,
Mr. Bubna, yeah.
So non-agro is doing fairly well. We are very happy with the non-agro business at this point of time.
Got it. That's the listing, by the way, the new listing which is coming through, and we'll have the rates come up in just a bit from now. Yatra Online is the new listing. I mean, a couple of listings a week. That's par for the course now. The stock's starting about 7% lower as compared to what they sold the stock at. I'll come back to Yatra in just a bit, but Mr. Bubna, thank you very much for joining us. Great speaking with you. Rajesh, great having you with us here on the program. Thank you very much. Insightful chat here, as always.